And imagine what we had just been through the 18-month period prior, the devastation of the economy and having to restructure and make all the cuts we had to make, and then the recovery, and then 2 days prior getting the biggest order ever, and here it is burning to the ground. But again, I'm here to tell you, I had this peace. It's not me. If anybody knows me of myself, I'm an anxious guy, and I'm stressed, I'm getting fired up, I have this incredible peace about me. And as I enter in, there's hundreds of community folks that have gathered on the site. Hundreds of people. And here's this institution. Although we were founded in 23, we moved here in 32. For 80 years we'd been in Grove City. And just, Will, I'm so sorry. Will, I'm so sorry. Will, I'm so sorry. Folks that I work with in tears. Will, what are we going to do? How am I going to feed my family? Will, I can't lose this job. Where am I going to go work? And it was universal. And for any of us, it was a surreal day. And as these tears were coming and the panic and the anxiety, I've got this peace, and we called everybody together. There were about 40 of us at the time, employees. We got together and we prayed. And I said something very simple. I'm not an eloquent prayer, and I just said, Lord, we have no idea what's going on. You do. We trust you. Show us what's next. Simple. But I tell you what, it was like the lights were turned back on immediately. We broke that prayer circle. And led by Karen Anderson and a few other people, it was a beautiful thing to watch. And it was like I was a bit player in a movie, just standing back, watching all this. It was a thing of beauty happening before me. And I was absolutely amazed to see what was going on. Karen was directing the firefighters. Hey, we need you to go into this room and grab this out. And again, the fire is raging. The building is burning to the ground, literally, a building that is on the National Registry of Historic Places. It is burning to the ground. And yet these heroic firefighters are going in and getting stuff under Karen's direction of what we needed in this office, in this area, and craftsmen are directing them here. It was heroic. We hear about our first responders, and we know from 9/11 what heroes they were and are. We saw it firsthand, going into the fire, because as the the fire chief in Grove City said, hey guys, this is history. We've got to save everything we possibly can. And guys, as we talk about the title of my talk tonight, Beyond the Circumstance, I'm going to tell you those 18 months that we were in between 2008, 2009, and early 2010 were very, very challenging circumstances. Honestly, I don't have many enemies. I don't think I have an enemy. There might be a lot of people that don't like me, but I don't think I have an enemy. But I wouldn't wish what we had just experienced on my worst enemy. I mean, it was really, really challenging. To the point when, I live in North Carolina, as Carolina said, and I had been away from my family. I was only getting home to my family about 4 days every month. And so I was away from my family. And between that time of me, after Thanksgiving when I came back to Grove City and that fire, I can't tell you how many nights I was alone in my apartment in tears. And I apologize if I choke up now. But as a 47-year-old man, I had always desired to be a husband and a father. That's what just jazzes me up. I want to be a great husband and a great father. And here I am, 700 miles away from my family. And I'm weeping, saying, Lord, why am I here? What am I doing? What do you want me to do? Silence. Silence. And then one Saturday morning, I go out for a jog. And I'm running up Madison Avenue, and I'm not in that great a shape. So, the little hill on Madison that borders the college? It's a little hill, I know that. But for me, it's like Everest. I'm looking at it going, oh my goodness. So, I'm running up this hill. No, I'm sorry. I'm jogging up this hill, and it's foggy as all get out. Just totally foggy. And again, the night before was one of my low nights that I'm just begging the Lord, show me, God, show me. And so I'm running, I'm jogging. I'm doing my jog up the hill. I'm doing my jog up the hill, and it's so foggy. Literally, all I could see before me was one cement block at a time. And more vocal than I've ever heard him speak before, God said very clearly to me, he said, Will, what do you see in front of you? I see one step. He said, that's all I'm going to reveal to you. I'm not going to show you the whole picture. But trust me, one step at a time, I'm going to reveal what I'm doing here. And I got to the top of the hill, still foggy. I make the turn. I run around Grove City, and I finish back on Madison Avenue at our property. And as I run onto our property, the sun begins to shine. And he told me at that moment, there will be light at the end of the tunnel. Trust me. Walk with me. Keep your eyes fixed on me. And let me take this for you. So then fast forward to the day of the fire, which was about 6 months later. I'm standing there as Karen and everybody else are doing all the work. I'm literally on my BlackBerry. They had those back then. I'm on my BlackBerry writing a press release with our PR agent. While they're doing all the hard work, we're writing a press release to let people know, because we've got, every television station from Erie to Pittsburgh to Youngstown to Akron to Canton covering, they've got helicopters above, and they're covering this story. And we were panicked that people would think that Wendell August was going to be done forever. So we're writing this story that we're going to be back better than ever. And I'm sitting there watching this fire burn, and I had the moment. The Esther moment, where God clearly spoke to me, and he said, for such a time as this, for such a time as this, all this that you have been doing, all of this wilderness experience that you have been experiencing has been preparing you for this moment. And I know I'm not the greatest leader, I'm not the greatest business guy, I'm not the smartest guy, but God had given me a unique set of talents and gifts that at that moment, our little company needed to stay focused, to stay positive, to stay excited. And I knew at that moment, for such a time as this, all of that heartache, those tears in my apartment at night as I was away from my wife and kids, 3 kids, now aged 20, 14, and 10. It all was preparation. It was like Moses in the desert for 40 years. Preparation to lead Israel. I knew at that moment I was called to lead Wendell August.